There's a manhunt still underway for additional suspects tied to that alleged White House UFC terror plot. This is happening as federal documents identify the accused ringleader as an illegal immigrant from Mexico. There's the mugshot. Here's David Spunt live in D.C. And David, hello.
Well, hello, Bill. 5 are behind bars. Authorities looking for more, given that they discovered a group chat with 23 people. We have a picture of the people currently in custody facing those charges. Tyson Proper from Ohio, Brian Roa and Michael Thomas from California. Daniel Eskridge from Missouri, who appears before a judge for a detention hearing this morning. And as you mentioned, Abraham Alvarez from Nebraska, who overstayed his visa in 2001 and is from Mexico.
2001?
But he is a recipient of DACA, and that's why he is in the United States. Now, investigators tell Fox the alleged plan was to use drones with explosives to hit buildings near the event, which would force a mass evacuation, steer crowds towards a pre-staged sniper team. A, quote, second wave was allegedly planning to storm the White House gate. One suspect told investigators the goal was to target capitalist elites or people that receive money from AIPAC, the Israeli Public Affairs Committee. Investigators say that they have screenshots of the phones of an accused plotter that feature aerial photos and maps around D.C. discussing sniper and drone positions. Police officials, though, yesterday, Bill, here in the nation's capital, said that they are focused on all threats ahead of the events celebrating America's 250th birthday here in Washington. Watch.
Things can change, new information can come in, so we're always evaluating that. We also look at how we're deploying resources. Do we need to increase resources? Do we need to change the types of covert or overt resources we see?
And one law enforcement source brief says officials believe that they have the most imminent threat actors already charged in this case, but they do want to talk to the other people on that chat.
Hey, all right, David. Thanks, David Spunt. With that, Dana's got more right now.
Yeah, I want to bring in Fox News contributor Donna Rutuno. She is a criminal defense attorney.
Now, first thing before we get into what she has to say, what are your thoughts, y'all? Do y'all think that all this could have been avoided? Because they're playing on the fact that he was an illegal immigrant and he should have been deported a long time ago. But I think just with the times we're in now, this plot would have still taken place if he was there or not. Just because there are a lot of deranged people who feel like the best way to spread their message is to cause immense violence. And those people are the ones that need to be locked up. Those people are the ones that need to be held away from society. If you think that the only way to make your point is to cause violence and chaos, or if your point involves just the sole reason of causing chaos, you deserve to be locked up. At least that's my opinion. Some people might see that differently. I don't know who, but hey, we gotta people. There's a wide variety of people out here. Let's keep going into this and see what else we can find out.
And a podcast host of Crime and Justice with Donna Rutuno, which you got to listen to. I want to play this one thing from Janine Pirro. She's, of course, the U.S. attorney there in D.C. Watch.
The threat to the UFC situation is being handled by other offices. Venue is literally in other states, and we do not have a piece of that here in D.C.
You don't expect that case will end up in your office?
I don't think so, not based on what we know so far. Most of the actions are outside of D.C. In fact, all of them that we're aware of are outside of the district.
There's a map, Donna, where all the suspects came from, all these different states, and they thought that they were communicating secretly. Of course, I guess that's what happens when you try to do that. All the digital evidence goes back to them. What do you think about this case?
Well, obviously, it's quite scary that this is something that could have happened on such a big stage. And thankfully, our government was able to intercept what was happening and thwart this awful plan. It is very interesting to see how this is happening all over the United States. And Judge Janine is correct. Without any actual action taking place in D.C., they would not have jurisdiction. So it's these other states that will come in and the federal agencies out of those states that will take care of the prosecutions of these cases. I expect that all of these judges will keep these people in custody. I can't imagine that they will let them out and put them in a situation where they can be electronically speaking to others again. I do hope that they're able to find and communicate with the others that were involved in this. I mean, this could have been a very catastrophic event taking place in D.C. last weekend.
Now, it's crazy to think that all this, the only way that they was able to stop this, or the best way they were able to stop this, was because of the mother. The mother seen something The mother, seeing that her son was making some weird purchases, seeing that he was talking to strange people, and she said something about it. She called to the appropriate authorities, and she was able to virtually stop a mass casualty event. And to think that your son, I can't imagine what would be going through my mind if my son or family member was actually planning to do something this crazy. Of course I'm going to tell on him. Of course I'm going to call the appropriate authorities. But just the fact that if I'm the parent, I'm immediately think I failed. Maybe that's a good thing or bad thing, but I'm going to think I failed as a parent if my son plans something like this. But it's hard to think, and then most people wouldn't think that, no, this could possibly be my own family. But let's keep going on to this.
Donna, they have said that the UFC plot ringleader was Abraham Alvarez. We showed his mugshot earlier. Maybe they can put it up again. And apparently he was brought here illegally as a child, so he would be classified as one of those dreamer-type people, but certainly not the American dream that you would imagine he would want.
No, of course, Dana. And I think that really goes to the bigger conversation and why President Trump was elected in the first place. I mean, this was a situation where, here's somebody who has the ability to be here, even though he was not properly, born here and didn't have the right citizenship, but he was granted this ability to stay here. And then when we allow him that right, look at what happens. So I think that this goes to the bigger conversation and really shows that the Trump policies of trying to remove people that should not be here are quite important. I mean, look, most people involved in this, I think, have ties to circumstances like this. And it really goes to show that people that sometimes claim they want to be here do not want to be here for the right reasons. All right.
Let's look one more second. We pretty much got to end of this video. Look at this man's mugshot. Back it up a tad bit more to the big one. Look at this man. He is smiling. He is smiling after being caught while planning something crazy. He was planning to murder a mass amounts of people, all to further his cause and the group that he follows cause. And he has the gall to smile. There are a lot of deranged people in this world, y'all. Let's get over into the AI breakdown to finish up this section. So as we know that the White House the federal authorities have officially arrested and charged 5 men in connection with the multi-state plot launched to attack the UFC Freedom 250 event at the White House South Lawn. On June 18th, the Department of Homeland Security confirmed the alleged mastermind Abraham is a Mexican foreign national currently in the U.S. illegally after overstaying a visa. He allegedly used the alias Shepherd in the encrypted chats to organize the operation. Immigration and Customs Enforcement have lodged detainers against him. 5 individuals currently in federal custody and charged with conspiracy to commit murder. We got Abraham, Tyson, Brian, Michael, and Daniel. 32, 32, 24, 19, and 31. So the initial investigation all began because of his mother, like we talked about. She exposed, and then after he was caught, he ended up exposing the encrypted network. So they would have never known that any of this was going on. And if they was too late, it could have been a disaster. While 5 suspects have been charged, they are still, the intelligence indicates that the broader group chat includes roughly 20 to 23 people, and they are still lurking for those. They said they wanted to jumpstart a revolution, and like they said, they are a part of the, or did they mention what the group's called? Let's see. No, they didn't mention what the group is called. I remember the name, the Frontier, some weird name. But and then all the stuff they talking about, the Epstein files and water usage at the corporate data centers. Absolutely crazy. And just one more breakdown of what they were actually planning. They're going to fly the drones rigged with explosives to detonate over the north side of the White House. And then they were going to have snipers take out the people who were running away. And then they were planning to breach the White House in their final wave. There's a lot of people who they were planning to hurt. And it's a crazy situation, y'all. Let me know your thoughts and let me know if you disagree with anything I said.